Welcome back! Well, we've read Atrus's journal, and we've discovered a few things that have helped us understand a little bit more about what's going on around here. First of all, this fellow named Gehn is Atrus's father, but there's more to it than that. He's also a very egotistical fellow who's been bent on restoring the lost Dunny civilization, though apparently his attempts at doing this have ruined the cultures of many other ages out there. It sounds like Gehn must have done some pretty horrendous things on these worlds, since Atrus became so convinced that Gehn must be stopped that he trapped him here on Riven. He did this by taking all the linking books from Riven out of Riven, and he used the last one, which went to Mist, as he dropped it into something called the Starfisher. Of course, this is the same Mist book that we later found on Earth at the beginning of the first Mist game, and we used to ultimately free Atrus from his prison in Dunny. However, Atrus hasn't really been able to enjoy that freedom because he's been constantly writing in Riven's descriptive book. According to his journal entries, he's been trying to stabilize the age because it's been plagued by tremors that have marked its decay. And throughout the journal entries, he describes these tremors' increasing severity. Unfortunately, it's because of all of this that he's not really able to come here and rescue his wife Catherine, who is originally from Riven, and for whatever reason is imprisoned here, although we don't know exactly why or for how long. But because we've found Atrus now, he believes that he can continue to write in the book and hold Riven together long enough that we can stage the rescue attempt. However, there's a couple of things that he made sure to mention that are very important. First of all, he believes that the best way to stop Gehn is through a prison book. And we've seen these before on Mist Island as the books that trapped Cirrus and Agonar, Atrus' sons. Basically, a prison book is just a special book that traps somebody in some sort of black void. They can only escape if someone else then uses the book, which traps that person and releases the first person. Atrus feels that if he can disguise a prison book as a real link back to Dunny, that would be the perfect bait for his father. Also, he believes that if we were sent here with a real linking book to get out after we were done, we would be risking the possibility of Gehn finding that book, and thus escaping Riven. However, he believes that if we could signal him after we're done trapping Gehn and rescuing Catherine, then that linking book would no longer be a liability, and he could come here and get us all out. So, in summation, there's three things that we have to do. We have to find Gehn and trap him. Second, we have to rescue Catherine. And third, we have to signal Atrus to come and rescue us. Unfortunately, our prison book has already been stolen, so we're already at a disadvantage. So we're going to have to track down that gorilla guy and try to find it. So we've really got our work cut out for us now. But now that we've got the background story and we know where we stand, let's go ahead and start exploring. Let's just get our bearings here for a minute. Look around. That's the cage that we originally came in. Let's just take a look out here. It appears that we're on some sort of island, and there's another island deep into the distance over there with some more vegetation. And in between the islands there's this cable system here. Maybe that's for like a transportation device or something. There also is another island way over there, but we can't really see much of it. Also, there's this really tall dagger right over here next to our cage. It looks to be about twice our height. Although, who put it there, we don't know. Let's check out that lever that guy sabotaged. Yeah, it's stuck alright. Hopefully that means that whoever comes here next won't get stuck in that cage and we'll have to free them. But look at this right here. It looks like he used a dagger that's identical to the one that's over here. So maybe the dagger is the symbol of that gorilla? Well, if Gehn has such an iron fist and is as a dictator as Atrus described, maybe there's a resistance movement around here. Now let's check out that thing that you guys are probably all dying to see. That metal ice cream cone over there. Except I overstepped it. It's got a little hole in here along with a button and a lever. Well, I don't really want to touch anything until I've checked everything out first, so let's just look. Okay, that's kind of boring. looks like it's pointing down to this hatch thing here. And I can only guess that this is a combination lock. Alright, I'm 100% sure that's the right combination. Boo. Hiss. Oh well, it was worth a shot. What about these things? Okay, that didn't do us any good. And that didn't do anything. Guess it doesn't work. Maybe it's not powered. Well, maybe this thing is a pipe. It looks like it's directly connected to it, so maybe this goes somewhere. Except that doesn't really help us much at all. Wow. I definitely don't want to fall down there. Let's get away from that. So we're going to have to find a power source for this thing, because it doesn't appear to work at all right now. Anything else we can see here? A nice golden dome above us, but we don't know what that does either. I guess we'll just keep exploring and hope we'll find something that we can play with. And there's our guard buddy down there. Hopefully he's still alive, even though he tried to take our book. I'd hate for people to get killed. So it looks like quite a nice place. Well, it looks like we got 3 choices to go to. We can go to this really cool looking orange room. We could continue down the stairs to the other side of the hill, or we could go across this bridge over to that little cave on the right. Well, I'm all for caves, and I do want to go right to left here just to be systematic, so I think I'll go this way. We can see that other island that's really distant over there, although, like, again, we really can't see much of it. Ooh, spooky music. Let's see what's behind door number 1. Okay, it's a big cage with a throne behind it, with a donut. Man, ice cream cones and donuts? This game's already making me hungry. Okay, that's kind of ominous, but nice of it to open up for us. Okay, there's a lever here and a button. Does nothing work here at all? Yay, something that finally does something. Well, that only closed it. Maybe this makes the lever work now. Alright, I hear a humming sound, but that's about it. Nothing else is happening. Let's just go. This isn't doing anything. But look at this. On the wall we have an orange portal and a blue portal. Sound familiar? Okay, this looks into some rather ornate looking room with a bunch of pillars around it. And there's also a lever here, but I don't really want to touch that again until we explore everything. What about the blue one? That one almost looks like it's underwater. Well, nothing else to do here, so let's just get out. Let's see how deep this thing goes. Well, we've arrived at a big stone door. Ah, it looks like we found that orangey room that we saw through the portal earlier. So what is this place exactly? There's a big door here, but we can't really do anything with it. I guess touching it doesn't automatically open it up. Well, there's another one of these cages here, and this one has some sort of light bulb behind it that has a emblem or something on it. It's a pentagon with a star inside of it, and some sort of symbol that looks like a box with legs and a horizontal line. Well, that's nice, but I'd like to know what all this is. There's some sort of animal here with tusks, I guess, and some fruit in front of it. And a little thing on its head with a star. Come to think of it, didn't we see one of those on top of our cage? And here's another one of these things. Hey, you don't suppose, maybe these things are like offerings and these are idols? And maybe this whole area is a temple. In that case, I guess whatever they worship, the centerpiece of this area is in this cage. So maybe it's like a giant bird or something. Well, I don't see a key for this door anywhere around here. So let's just go. But wait a second, before we do, I want to see something. Notice how this wall over here inside the cave and this stone is completely different. Yeah, this door almost looks intentionally camouflaged into the wall. I mean, I suppose somebody could find it, but it looks like it's supposed to be hidden. I suppose if whoever was in here was enamored with whatever was in the cage and was focusing on that so much, they would never find it. Still, I gotta wonder exactly what they're worshipping here. Let's go back to that upper room, because I've got a bit of a hunch. Now this cage, as I mentioned, looks almost identical to that one downstairs. But when we were here last, I said that it didn't seem to do anything. But maybe it actually does more than we think. Notice how this thing kind of looks like a microphone? And now we can hear this humming sound. But maybe that humming sound actually means something. Like maybe we're actually broadcasting from this chair. Not only is our voice going out through this microphone, but maybe our image is being projected onto that big cage downstairs. And if that's the case, then we know who's behind all this. Considering Gehn seems to have delusions of godhood, I wouldn't be surprised if he were projecting his own face into that thing down there. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz and that man behind the curtain. Well, it sure fits in with the description of Gehn that we read about in Atrus' journal. And now let's see what this thing does. Goody, we opened the door up, that's good. It's nice to see things here that work. Well, at least we let a little bit more light in there, so let's go check out what we did. And what's behind it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mention this right here, but these creatures that we see right here are called warks in the game. I'm always saying this out of character just because we're going to actually be seeing representations of these things quite a bit, and so I just want to do that just to clear up any confusion, and for the sake of clarity. But whatever they are, it appears that they're quite respected, although we don't know exactly if they're real or just legendary like the unicorn or the phoenix. So what's out here behind that big door? Ah, it's that other view we saw through the blue portal. Stone steps that go to nowhere. Well, at least we got a nice view of that other island. Whoops. There's a button here. Let's see what this thing does. Looks like it's calling some sort of transport over here. Snazzy, I like it. Well, that looks pretty cool and all, but I'm not really quite ready to get off the island yet. There's still more to do and see. Like this view over here. Okay, that's not that exciting, but still. Seems like we've looked at all we can see over here, so let's just go ahead and backtrack. But now that we've checked the outside, and we know that it's the other view that we can see through the portal, we can get a little bit of a better idea of how the whole system works. I suppose if it is indeed Gehn sitting in that chair, he can look through the portals, see people coming in through the blue one, through the transport system, and then open the door up for them using the orange one. And then he could just sit down in the chair and let the show begin. I guess if somebody also tried to use that secret door that led up here to the broadcasting area, he could just yell at them through the cage thing. And we get a nice view of that big golden dome, and I'd really like to check out what that is. There's also a little island over there, but it looks like it just has some palm trees on it. Well, that's about all we can do here, so we'll continue exploring that orange room and whatever's down the hill over here in the next video.